Well, hi folks, Graham Cooper here from Cooper and Cooper Investment Property Solutions. Look, the subject I want to briefly cover today is November 2020. Where is the market now? So if you're about to become an investor, where is the market? Can you make some money? Is there capital growth? Are there good rentals and good tenancies around? And the answer is yes to all of those things. Okay, there's always opportunity. We note because we're talking with developers and builders, all the day, every day, and we have probably about 100 emails coming in a day just from our property developers and the like, associated agents. We deal with the lenders, the finance brokers, and of course property management and all those things incorporated into our services. So we're talking with lots and lots of people, communicating with lots and lots of people in many different formats every day. And so we've got our finger on the pulse, and right across Australia we're watching the market, we're watching government projects, we're watching infrastructure development, and we're just keeping our eye on keeping our finger on the pulse of everything. So in answer to that question, yes, where is the market today? The market is very healthy. It's interesting that there's quite a bit of land development going on at the moment, and I've been quite surprised at the projects that have come up in the last 12 months, despite our economic challenges with the pandemic. But anyway, yes, land sales is very interesting, particularly in New South Wales, but we're not the only state that's growing, of course, but particularly in New South Wales at the moment. Government has been spending a lot of money. They're doing a lot of planning, and that's particularly the eastern seaboard as well. So we're talking Victoria, New South Wales, and Queensland. Certainly, they've got their eye on the ball, and they're planning accordingly for the future. Of course, they've been impacted. Their revenues are down to a degree in terms of income. The Treasury Department and such have been impacted, of course, by businesses not doing as well as they should, and of course that affects the cash flows and the like. But again, we're coming back to opportunities. There is a myriad of opportunities out there. The government also gets involved in many projects, for the community. So, in particular, things like the NDIS, which is the National Disability Programs, and other community projects that involve housing, and as an investor you can take advantage of these opportunities in terms of getting some incentives from the government in relation to those particular projects. I can recall maybe 20 years ago when I was involved in selling, would you believe, retirement villages, and I can recall in one particular instance where I met with a family. They had husband and wife had 4 teenage sons, and the family was very aware of the need for them to teach their children, teach their teenagers about the money and the dollar, the value of a dollar, and the velocity of money that I talked about some time back in one of my videos. But just to give you an example of the types of things that come up, and I might say that we did very well for our customers in that particular area, the retirement villages, but eventually the lenders, some of the big lenders, the big 4 as they call them, found out about what we were doing, because obviously they were financing some of them, and one of those banks, I won't name any names, but that the west side of Australia, and they they moved in and took them all from under us, all the future ones. So, but we did sell a number of retirement village properties to our investors, and they did very well. So, give you an example. Selling a one-bedroom retirement villa for around about under $100,000. Could you imagine that? That would have been about 1998 up to about the year 2000. So selling a one-bedroom fully serviced one-bedroom retirement villa for around about $98,000. Now, what's interesting about that is that the government, of course, it was part of their housing, community housing projects, and so they subsidised those retirement villas because they're occupied by retirees, they're occupied by pensioners, and so the deal was you paid $98,000 for a one-bedroom serviced villa, and the government paid the project management that looked after those villas and serviced those villas for the pensioners, paid them $160 a week for managing the units, and a portion of that money went also to the pensioner, so they would get, say, example of $20 or $30 a week out of that towards their cost of living, and of course the pension is on the pensioner as well. So it's a pretty good deal for the investor, of course, because the investor's getting the rent on that project, and so let's say that out of the 160, $30 goes to the pensioner, and maybe $20 goes to $15 to $20 goes to the service people, and of course the balance goes to the investor. So getting well over $100 a week, and it's of course amortized every year, twice a year along with the pension. So yes, not a bad financial proposition, and of course the capital growth. And I remember a couple of years later, I took the opportunity to just go and have a look, as I do with many of our projects. I went along to have a look at this project to see how everything was faring, and of course it was fully occupied, as you would expect, and I can say that project 2 or 3 years later still looked like it was brand new. It was just so well kept, so well looked after. All the grounds were well kept. It was beautiful gardens, and very well managed, as is many of those projects that we have, particularly when you come to things like even today, like townhouses and any strata type operation. We're very careful about getting involved with developers and builders that we trust, that we develop a relationship with, and of course we do our research before we get involved with any particular developers that come online, and they often approach us and ask us to sell property, so we do our due diligence to make sure that those properties and those operators are in fact professional in their activities and do a good job, and that continues today. So yes, in answer to the question I posed from the beginning, the opportunity out there in the market is very good. In fact, the current government incentives are being taken up at a very rapid rate for people buying new property. There's of course the $25,000 incentive. So look, jump in there, folks. Get in and get a share of that money, and of course all the discounts and benefits and deductions that come with it on the depreciation side. Get in there. Opportunity waits for no one, as we said. It's later than you think, but it's never too late. Okay, This is Grant Cooper here signing off. Talk to you again soon. Stay safe and stay well, and have a great day. Bye for now.